I'm an investigator, Tony Coburn. It's Kobryn.
The top of page 3, starting on search item 21. Tell us what that search was.
Clips in the way. Number 21 says importance of autopsy in criminal investigation.
Okay. And number 22.
Determining cause of death from skeletal remains.
And number 3 is the same search. It replicated it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What is the 24th?
Proving murder beyond reasonable doubt.
And can you keep going down until I tell you to stop?
FBI investigation. Cases without eyewitnesses. Forensics only cases conviction rate. Murder without weapon. Bloodstains and the environment. Bloodstains, sunlight. How long does it take for a body to decompose outside? How long does it take for an unburied body to decompose? Skeleton decomposition. How long do bones take to become dry and brittle? Is Austin humid? Is Texas humid? DNA decay in humid weather. How long do bones take to become dry and brittle? DNA profiling after 6 months. Collecting DNA for testing after 6 months. Effects of outdoor weather on DNA testing. Does cooked meat decompose? Do maggots eat cooked meat?
My name is Paul Anderson. I'm the father of Andre McDonald.
Did you speak to Andre about why any physical violence that done by him happened in the relationship?
Yes, sir.
Did he explain to you why he did these physically violent things to Andre?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
He said he was angry.
Defense calls Major Andre McDonald. What happened while you're there to your relationship?
So one day I was, I think it was on the weekend in between classes. I go to the laundromat to do laundry, and all of a sudden I get this strange text from Andreen saying, when I come home, not to come back to the house.
Were you aware that Andreen had a relationship before you in Jamaica with someone?
Yes.
Do you know who that person was?
Yes, his name is Alvin Hall.
Do you know Alvin?
Yes, I do.
And how do you know?
So he lives like 2 doors down from my dad in Port Antonio, Jamaica.
And in Port Antonio, what is Alvin?
Alvin's a local drug dealer and a gang leader. I remember when I did the edits for the business plan and submitted them to Andreen to give them to the bank, they were under Starlight Homes. But here on this form, it says there's a business plan going forward under a land and property management, which I knew nothing about, and immediately I just knew she was stealing from me. Tomorrow when I leave work, I'm going to go back downtown to the divorce lawyer, and I'm going to get a divorce. And this time, I'm not pulling it up, which basically means I'm not stopping the divorce like I did the first time. She got real upset, and then she started yelling at me and started yelling, "Go suck your mother, batty boy. Go suck your mother, batty boy."
Is that patois?
Yes, it is.
Can you break it down for me? What does it mean?
So the phrase "go suck your mother" means go and give like your mom oral sex, and then "batty boy" is just another phrase in Jamaica that they use to call you a homosexual. She spits in my face. I grabbed her head. I think we had like a clash of heads, and I think it opened up like a cut somewhere on her face. I remember like grabbing her and like tripping her over one of my legs, and then she like falls, and that's when I kick her like twice. As soon as she fell, it was like a reaction, so I landed like a couple of kicks. So after Elena falls back to sleep, that's when I, go back downstairs and heading back to my room. And then when I, get inside the room, I notice Andreen is still lying in the floor right next to the door. So at that point, I sort of like, go over her and she's not moving. And then I bend over to like check, see.
You check?
Yes.
Tell me how.
So I bent over and then I like grabbed her face and then like feel like if I could feel like a pulse or something, and then I put my ear next to like her nose to see if she was breathing, and she was not. So I remember there was like, you know, a dead cow right next to where I ended up.
When you put the body there, what did you do?
So at that time I took the bags off. I was just gonna leave it there, and for some reason, I don't remember why, but I just had this weird idea to probably should just take the clothes. So I took the clothes and threw them in the bag and then went back in the car and went home.
Take all her clothes?
I think so. I went straight back in front of the same property. I got out of the car. I was angry as hell. And at that point, I, you know, jumped over the fence and went towards the body.
When you got to where her body was, what did you do?
So at that point, now I'm like really angry. Because, you know.
When you say you're really angry, about what?
Man, so the reason why I'm really, really angry is just because, like, I'm thinking about this whole situation, like, a lot of it. Like, you know, I left the house just to avoid the very situation that I'm in, a confrontation with Andre, okay? And all of this, in my opinion, like, could have been avoided. Like, if Andreen wanted to, like, go be with somebody else, she was free to do that. She had a degree. She owned half of a business. Like, why would she need to, like, go through all this stuff to try to get it all? And then in my opinion, at that point, I'm thinking, that's what the whole thing about going to Jamaica was, you know, trying to get this dude to, like, probably offer me off so she can get everything.
So what did you do?
I get really angry. So at that point, I poured, like, the gas on her and then I lit the fire.
Was it enough gas?
Nah, it wasn't like a lot of gas. It's just like leftover gas that I had. Like, you know, I used to cut my own grass, but then eventually, like, you know, as the business grew and stuff, I started having Eddie come by the house now and do the lawn care. So it was just like some leftover that I had in a container. So I poured that on her, I lit it, and then it was out. I don't know how long, but it was out pretty fast.
Then what did you do?
So at that point, you know, I got a hammer, and, you know, the body's like right there. So at that point, I just got really pissed off and started, like, you know, hitting the body with the hammer.
How many times?